get set up here. We'll get started in a couple minutes. Couple more minutes here before we get started. Make sure you've got a comfortable surface to sit or lay down on. If you're on a hard surface, get some water, some tea, get comfy, and we'll get started soon. All right. Get started here in just a couple more minutes. Hope everyone's doing well. Actually, really quick. Go a little bit further down. There we go. That should be good. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing really well, staying safe and staying healthy. Yeah, everything's same old here in the Weaver household. This one's got an ear infection though. Not feeling super good. But hopefully, it'll stay a little less chatty. All right. Just another minute or so. As always, if you guys have any suggestions for what you'd like for class, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'm thinking about maybe doing like a foam roller, like rollout class at some point. If people would like that, I'd love to do it, but I know that all of us might not have a foam roller or something, so just let me know. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. As usual, start with our breathing. So you can pick any position on your back you'd like to lay down on. You can keep your feet planted, maybe go into a reclined butterfly, or just stretch them out. And we'll just start with 3 nice big deep breaths here. Just so that we're breathing together, really centering the mind and the body. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we begin breathing in through the nose. And a heavy exhale out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose. And last time, heavy exhale through the mouth. And just take a few moments here to do a nice body scan from head to toe. Noticing if you're holding any areas of tension. Just with every exhale, releasing deeper and melting further into the floor. Making sure that our breath is nice and even. Being mindful that our exhales are the same length as our inhales. Oftentimes, we tend to make our exhales a bit shorter. Couple more breaths here. Releasing any tension in the face. Relaxing the shoulders. Softening the ribs. Opening the hips. Just releasing into the floor. And let's come back together with 3 more breaths. You breathe in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Last time, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Gently rolling onto your side and making your way to a comfortable seat. We'll slowly transition into a child's pose here. So bringing our toes together, sending our hips back, opening our knees nice and wide, stretching our hands out in front of us. We're just going to take a few breaths here. Again, just trying to release a little bit more, getting rid of any tension. And filling up those lungs through the base of the ribs. With each exhale, softening our chest closer to the floor. And gently rolling up through the spine. We'll move back into what's called baby camel, which is where we just put our hands behind us and send our hips forward. Getting a nice stretch through the front of the body. You can either keep the head upright or let it fall back. This is a great place to check in with your shoulders, making sure that you're not letting them hunch up to your ears. Still maintaining a nice long neck here. And gently releasing down and reaching back forward into a child's pose. Nice full around breath here. And rolling up, moving again into baby camel. Hips forward. And release. We'll take 2 more quick passes. Child's pose. And moving back into baby camel. Releasing, child pose. And rolling up and back into baby camel. And returning back to center. Let's go ahead and walk it forward into a nice tabletop position here. And just on your own timing, take a few cat-cows. So just moving through this position. Really opening that chest and rounding spine. Couple passes here. Maybe taking some lateral stretches, reaching the crown of the head and the pelvis together, side to side. To stretch out the side of the body. Whatever feels best for you here. Just trying to loosen up those bones. And now maybe taking a few circles here with the body. Really getting into all the nooks and crannies here. Scraping the bowl. And making sure that you go both ways if you decided to move into some circles. Good, and returning back to center. Go ahead and let's just make our way to a comfortable seat and then moving into a butterfly. So you can choose whether you'd like to have your feet closer to your pelvis or farther away, whatever feels better for your body. And we're just gonna take a few spinal articulations here. So we'll begin by pushing the chest forward, reaching down and rolling up through the spine. Again, pushing forward, rolling up. Same thing 2 more times, pushing forward, rolling up. Again, pushing forward and rolling up. And now we'll do the reverse. We'll contract the pelvis, bring the crown of the head towards the floor, send it out and stretch up and contract. Moving forward, sending the crown of the head out and lifting up. Again, contract, crown of the head, send it out and up. Again, contract, crown of the head, send it out and up. And then we'll just release over our legs and just take a nice stretch here. Sending our energy out through our sits bones and the tips of our fingers. Get a nice oppositional stretch here. Really thinking of reaching our chest forward. And roll it up. And go ahead and let's move over to the, I believe this is the left for you guys, it's the right for me. I'm just taking a moment here to stretch, breathing into the side of the body. Filling up those ribs with air and reaching a little farther away with every exhale. And rolling up, we'll switch other side, reaching over the leg. Keep reaching here. Couple more breaths. And rolling up. One more time to the center. Trying to reach a little farther out with every exhale. And rolling up through the spine. And we'll push our feet forward, stretching them out nice and long in front of us. And we'll flex the feet, relax over our legs here. Taking a second to relax into the stretch. And now we'll come up, flexing our feet. We'll grab the tops and pull our chest down and forward. And go ahead, point our feet and release. Really thinking of bringing your nose to the floor. We don't necessarily want to round too much here. So thinking of our nose reaching for the floor instead of to our belly button is the better alternative. And rolling back up, flexing the feet, and pulling that chest forward, trying to get a little bit closer than you were last time. Keeping length in the back, no rounding. And big inhale, exhale, release over the leg, nose to the floor. And as we roll up, we'll take our left hand and our right foot together and we'll go into a nice IT band stretch. You have the choice of keeping your hand on your hip to really think about that oppositional pull between the hip and the hand, or you can stretch it out nice and long. to get another sense of that opposition pull. And go ahead, release over, switching sides. Remembering to keep good posture here. Length through the back and through the collarbones. And up and over, releasing. Rolling up. Let's go ahead and move into a straddle here, yeah? So a straddle can mean a few things. Many of us think that a straddle is a complete, flat, 180-degree second. That is not the case because it is not anatomically possible. So on any straddle fine, you can do a slight V, or you can try to push it to your max, which is less than 100. We'll just sit nice and tall here and gently walk forward, making sure that we're going to keep our toes. So make sure that we don't let this roll forward here, yeah? So we don't want to be on top of it, and we don't want to turn in, but making sure that those toes and those knees are pointing directly upwards. And go ahead, release all the way over if you can. Trying to relax into the floor. And we'll gently roll it up through the spine. Turn your chest towards your, this is my right leg, I don't know if it's your left, but turn your chest towards your leg and gently walk it over, nose to your knee here, and making sure, my lovely assistant would move out of the way so I could show you this. Making sure that our sit bones stay connected to the floor here, yeah? So you don't want to lift up your hip and create this space while you're stretching, because that's not going to give a nice adequate stretch. So you want to glue both sit bones to the floor and reach over your feet. We'll stay here for a moment. Getting a nice stretch through the hamstrings, and for me, I get a nice stretch through the low back here. Trying to keep a nice long spine here. And rolling up, walking other side, releasing over our legs, sit bones to the ground. Couple more breaths. Trying to pull closer, closer to your leg. And we'll go ahead and roll up through the spine. All right, next, if you can, go ahead and try to roll forward and roll through your straddle. If not, you can just meet us in a frog. Yeah, so we're gonna roll forward and push back slightly onto our, I guess, inner thighs and knees. Sorry, there's a helicopter flying very close to my house. So we want to think of our hips reaching down towards the floor here, yeah? Our feet are on the floor, our knees are on the floor, and we're just reaching our hips down. So for some of us, this might look different. Some of us, you might be up a little bit higher here. So just be mindful of where your body's at and listen to what it's telling you, because there's no need to push too far, yeah? Just taking a few more breaths here. In case you guys don't know, this is my at-home dance floor. It like unfolds into 2 pieces. So it's like over this size, and I put some Maddy over it. Little at-home DIY project for you. Reaching those hips down. And make sure we lift up in our low abs here, yeah? So we don't want to collapse in our low back. That puts a little too much pressure on it. So we just want to keep engaged in those transverse abdominals. And we'll gently roll forward through this frog into our next frog, where our hips and our pelvis and our knees are still on the floor. However, what we're reaching down is our heels and our feet. So some of us might be up here. But if you're a little more flexible and open in your hips, your feet might fall to the floor. The important part is to make sure your heels are reaching down, so not your toes reaching down, because that's easy. But you want to use your turnout and use that flexibility in your hips to reach those heels down and forward. Stay here for a few breaths. But if you wanted to make your at-home dance floor, you can go to Home Depot and get 2 pieces of plywood. Get some Maddy over it. More deep breaths here, staying engaged, reaching our heels down. And gently moving out of this pose, you can just tuck your knees in, roll it back. And we're gonna move into a nice little back stretch here, yeah? So, oh no, my watch died. I have to go check it all the time in a minute here, just to make sure we're staying on track. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna roll up through the pelvis into a nice bridge position. Now this is option number 1. As you go into this bridge, you tuck your shoulders underneath, grab your hands, and just reach that chest for the ceiling. You get a nice back stretch here. Yeah, so that's option number 1. Also make sure you don't let the legs splay open, but you're holding a yoga block in between your knees. So you come to a nice bridge here, or we can move into a wheel. So we would plant our hands under our shoulders, our fingers are pointing towards our feet, and we would push our hips up into a nice wheel position here. Goal is to have the weight over those hands, maybe straighten the legs if you're feeling really advanced tonight. Yeah? All right, so we have both options. So go ahead and get set up for whatever option you prefer. Plant your base and moving into the pose. So like I said, making sure everything's in alignment here, no matter what pose you're in. Make sure that your heels are in line with your sit bones, not too wide or anything, and that your hips are pressing towards the ceiling. And if you're in a wheel like me, make sure that you have a slight bend in your elbows and that you don't hyperextend and hike your shoulders up. But that you're mindful and active in whatever position that you're in. And it's okay to make mistakes like I just did. I should recorrect my legs. Couple more breaths here. And go ahead, releasing out of the position. And take a moment here to rock those legs side to side. Release the back. I'll give you another second to release from that position we just did. Fly check on the time. Okay, good. We're doing good. Usually have my watch. All right, so let's go ahead and set up for the same position, or maybe you can change it up. If you did wheel, you could do bridge. If you did bridge, you can move on to wheel. Whatever you choose. So go ahead, set up your base, and deep breath in, and breath out, pushing up into our pose. Again, whether you're in bridge or wheel, it's important to keep our low abs engaged. Yeah, we don't want to crunch in the low back. We want to keep it nice and long and as supported as possible. It's important to engage those abs. Couple more breaths here. Checking in, seeing if you're holding any unnecessary and unneeded tension. And release it down, back onto the floor. Again, just moving those legs side to side to release a bit. Rolling your wrists, maybe if you were in wheel. I know that always kind of does it for me. All right, next thing we're gonna do is stretch those legs out nice and long. We're gonna pull our right leg into our chest, nice and tight, and gently extend it up towards the ceiling and pulling it in towards your chest to get a nice hamstring stretch here. Maybe take a few ankle circles to again loosen up or notice, recognize any tension you're holding. Good. And pull it a bit closer. And we'll go ahead and take a plie flex and point and then straighten. Plie flex and point and then straighten. Last time, plie flex, point and then straighten. And we'll hold for another moment here. And gently moving the leg to the side here. I personally like to support my leg by planting my elbow and using the palm of my hand to hold my leg. I just feel like it's better alignment for my hip. So we'll go ahead and pull that leg inward. Maybe if you're more flexible, you can take it with the opposite hand and pull it inwards. Wherever you're at. You ankle circles here. Trying to keep both hips nice and square. Keeping both sides of the body lengthened. And we'll go ahead and take a plie flex. Point in and straight. Plie flex. Point and straighten. Last time, plie flex. And point and straighten. Pulling it a little bit closer. Couple more breaths here. Really reaching nice and long behind the leg. And releasing this stretch. We'll go ahead and gently toss the leg over, and we'll cross it over for an IT band stretch here. You want to think of the hips stacking one on top of the other. Reaching out through our opposite arm. If it helps, you can always sickle. This is the only time you dance or anything else, so you should sickle your foot. Just to get a deeper stretch through our IT band, yeah? Zipping the butt sometimes helps, but don't make it happen. Every exhale here, it's the same thing when we want to release a bit more, but in this case, we'll release a bit more into a twist. So thinking of our left shoulder reaching up towards the ceiling, our gaze towards the right, and thinking of this hip pull in the opposite direction. Now, if you're feeling really zesty this evening, well, I usually take my class and I like that word zesty, you can bend this bottom leg, grab that foot, and flex it for a deep stretch here. So you're getting IT band stretch through the top leg and a quad stretch through the bottom. This is definitely a deeper stretch. I remember the first time I saw this one, I was like, that's not possible. Just be gentle, moving into it. And gently releasing both of our legs. Landing onto the floor, same thing as before, just dropping the knees side to side. Loosen back up. And now we'll go other side. So reaching the right leg long, bringing the bottom, or reaching the right leg long, bringing the left leg into the chest. Hugging nice and tight. We'll extend that top leg. And go ahead, take a few ankle circles here. Good. And pointing the foot, bringing the leg a little bit closer to the face. As always, it's totally normal to not feel completely even. The older I get, the more I realize how difficult it is to stretch the left side. All right, let's go ahead and take a plie flex and point it and straighten. Plie flex, trying to bring the leg in a little closer each time. One more time, plie flex and point and straighten. Hold here. And go ahead, gently release to the side here. Couple ankle circles. Good. And we'll gently flex and point and straighten and flex. Point and straighten. One more time, flex. Point and straighten, and we'll hold here. Bringing the leg a little bit closer inwards. Couple more breaths here. You can do like I am and use your furniture as leverage. And go ahead and release that leg. And we're going to toss it over, cross body for a nice IT band stretch. I say nice a lot. Have you guys noticed that? I say nice all the time. 2 minutes. All right. Taking even breaths here. Making sure we're keeping our hips nice and stacked. Remembering the idea of deepening into our twist and our rotation, specifically with our chest and our focus and our hips. Couple more breaths here. Moving into our zesty stretch for the evening, where you can grab that bottom foot and go into a nice quad stretch. Use it again. Trying to get the most out of the stretch that we're in. Stretches like this that are particularly difficult, it's really easy to build up tension in, say, your hands, or your arms, or your shoulders, or anywhere really. So it's important that with the deeper stretches, especially that we're doing, that we stay mindful of how the other parts of our bodies are reacting that aren't necessarily being stretched. More breaths here. And gently releasing out of this stretch. And just again, rocking side to side with our legs while I check the time. Okay, we're good. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna move from our back, rolling over onto our stomach, and just pushing back into an up dog to stretch out those abdominals, maybe the chest. Try your best to not do what I just did, which is lock into my elbows like that. It's not good for you. Just really try to support those joints. If you can't, move into a nice little lift of those hips to get a deeper stretch, maybe moving side to side a bit. And pushing back into our child's pose. Reaching our hands forward. And rolling forward, tucking our toes. We'll push back into a down dog here. And we'll just tread through our feet, nice and gentle. Go ahead and send those heels to the ground, hips towards the ceiling. Continue to maybe tread through those feet if you'd like. Again, I don't know about you guys, my calves have been feeling pretty tight lately. This feels good. And let's go ahead and send our downstage leg towards the ceiling. And let's bring it through into our low lunge here. Get a nice stretch through the hip. And we'll gently bend this back leg, step it up into a pyramid. Keeping both legs nice and straight here. Releasing over the leg. And we'll gently Bend that back leg and move into a runner's lunge or runner's stretch here. So another hamstring stretch, just a bit deeper than the last. You can either keep your chest up and your back long here, or you can fold over onto the front leg, still trying to maintain some length in the back. Important to keep this foot flexed and keeping your hips nice and square here. And gently moving forward into a pigeon. Same thing, you can either stay up or release forward onto the front leg. As usual, goal here is a 90-degree angle, but if you're feeling this is too much of a stretch, go ahead and pull the heel closer into the pelvis. Keeping nice and steady with our breath here. And gently moving back up. You can either stay here or return to any previous stretch if you don't want to do this. Let's go ahead and do a right split. The right leg is the leg you've been working on right now. With the left, then do the left split. Finding length through both legs. So here I like to think of myself as a T. I'm finding length through the front leg, through the back leg, and through the crown of the head. To keep it a nice, stable, and proper position. And release over that front leg if you'd like. One of my goals over this whole quarantine has been to try to get floor point, and it still evades me. I'm like a centimeter away. I still can't get it. And be careful, I don't want my foot to cramp up. All right, and gently coming out of that, moving forward onto your hands and pushing back into our down dog. Treading through the feet here. And go ahead, sending that upstage leg towards the ceiling and pulling it through into a little lunge. Getting a stretch at the front of the hip. And gently bending that back knee, pulling it up into a pyramid pose. Releasing nice and even over this front leg, making sure to not unevenly distribute the weight. And bending the back leg, let's go ahead and move into our runner's lunge or runner's stretch, however you want to call it. Reaching forward with the chest. And if you'd like, go ahead and release over that leg. And slowly moving forward into the pigeon. Oh my gosh, it's 9:30. Move into your pigeon. So I'm gonna be a little uneven on this side. Gotta wrap things up. And moving into our split. Again, finding length through all of our points here. Our front leg, our back leg, and the crown of our head. Floor point. You're almost there, kid. It'll get there someday. Releasing over the front leg if you'd like. And rolling up. Awesome job, son, everyone. Thanks for bearing with me. I went to chicken muffins then. For that extra couple minutes. But as always, Breakout, thank you so much for watching and for being here. Go ahead and check out our other content on our YouTube page. Check out our Instagram and our Facebook for upcoming classes and class schedules. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Much love. Thanks, guys. Nice little scoot to the camera to close out the live stream. Bye, everyone.